Welcome to another edition of I Have Way Too Much Going On in My Life. So if you're watching this, you possibly have some extremely foul smelling water, your water softener isn't working, or you're just looking for some insight into installing a new water softener system. Well, search no more, because this is going to be a complete guide for installing the Morten M45C water softener system. As you can see from that intro, I've been having some serious issues with my water softener system. This has been going on for quite a long time for me and my family. We've been having some horrendous smelling water, like garbage, sulfur, rotten eggs, and I mean, it stinks up the whole house. Now, I've done quite a few things before doing this. I have had my well water professionally treated, came back 2 weeks later. I have drained and cleaned my water heater, smell came back in 2 weeks. I have replaced the anode rod in my water heater, smell came back in a month. I have gone through pretty much every water system in this entire house with no avail. I have come down to determine that the insides of my water systems have fouled. You can send them in and have them gone through and rebuilt, but really, for the cost and the age of most people's water systems, it's just going to be better to buy a new unit. So that's what I opted to do, and in this video I'm going to show my process of installing it. I'm going to have to change a lot of the way my pipes are run. I'll be converting copper to PEX with some shark bite connectors, and I'm going to be running a whole house filter just for an added measure of filtration. So if you're like me and you have had a lot of issues with bad smelling water, specifically your hot water, follow along here and hopefully I can help you out. Okay, so this is the unit that I decided to go with. When it ships, it will have a plastic cover on this. You will need to remove the cover. There will also be a safety clip in here that you can remove and discard. Peel your plastic off, and for a little bit of the setup, I'm going to leave this lid off. Turning the unit around, this is your drain port, this is your in for your water from the well, and this is your out soft water into the entire house. I already went ahead and put one of these on, but this will ship without this in, and this is your port that goes in here. You have to put 2 seals on, and you lube them up with the lube included in this kit. Now this is also your bypass valve, so if you want to bypass this and not have any soft water or treated water, you just push in to bypass and pull out for filter. So just like this. You're going to put your seal on, and then this is the lube they give you. You squeeze just a little bit. See how it's coming out there? Just a little bit. And I do that around the seal, maybe a little more. And I already have my adapter that I need for my water lines. Push this in. You'll see the seal right there. You want to push it past that, kind of give it some force, and then put this clip here also, just like so. Now this whole valve needs to go facing up into the water softener. Same thing with the rubber O-rings. I'm going to put these on both ports, and I'm going to get real generous with the lube that they give you, because I'm going to be fighting 2 seals instead of just 1. Now for assembly purposes, I'm going to push this bypass in. Also, I want to bypass the first couple cycles of water that I run through my system, because they include a water testing kit to help you set this up. So I want my water coming directly from my well, not filtered through anything, so I get a proper reading so I know how to set this up. Now the fun part. I'm going to chop my water pipes up, which is slightly intimidating, and remove all this old stuff out of here, and then start installing the new. Now obviously you want to make sure that your water is turned off. I also went upstairs and turned off at the breaker panel my water heater and my well pump, just to make sure that there wasn't going to be any added pressure on the system. Alright, when I'm doing stuff like this, I always like to visualize where I want things about 1,000,000 times before I actually do it. Had I not been trying to visualize how I want all the piping ran, I may have messed this up. On this cap it says flow. That means that my inlet coming from the well has to go in here, and my outlet going to the water softener has to come from here. Now that could affect how you're going to mount this. For me, not so much. It's just going to be running the pipes a little differently than I had imagined in my head. Now, you just place it. No, there's too much stuff there, obviously. So I am going to put it right there. What a piece of junk. Hey, if this video is helping you out, please consider subscribing, because I constantly am fixing things around my house, and I feel like more than likely I will help you on something else along the way. So, join me in my journey of fixing endless amounts of stuff, and drop a like while you're at it. Alright, back to the project. So I am going to be putting in one of these quick shut-off valves before the water filtration system for two reasons. One, I can shut the water off quick, and two, that water filtration system, when you take that off to change the filter, you're going to want the water off quickly. One more tedious thing that I'm not going to demonstrate too far is this hose that's included with your kit. It hooks into the port in the back here, and then you got to run this out just like my old one was. You have to run it out your house somewhere, and that is the water that gets flushed out, the nasty water that this thing cleaned up. Now I can turn the water on, check for any leaks in the system. Once that's done, I can turn the bypass valve off and start working on the water softener setup. I have all the systems plumbed in. I have my drain outside, and there are no more leaks present. Now, the first step for actual setup of the water softener, it says to add 3 gallons of clean water to the brine tank the initial time. So I'm going to use my trusty 5-gallon pail here. I'm going to fill it up about yay high, and I'm going to go ahead and dump that water in, and then add the salt. Okay, following the instructions now, we need to set the time first. And to set the time when it's flashing like this, it just says to simply press the up and down buttons until you have the time of day selected. Can you hold it? You can. It's 9:26. So after reading further, it states that the time will be updated via Wi-Fi if it is a Wi-Fi model, which this one is. Regardless, the time is set and I can move on to the next step. Press the select button. Alright, now hardness. Now that's where you go back to your scale when you tested your water. We had 180. There is mathematical equations in the instructions here that you're going to have to do on your own depending on your test. Our hardness level is going to be about 30. And this is something you can tweak if you're finding that the water softness and the iron levels are still too high for you. You can always come down here and tweak this setting. So we're going to press select. So now most people want this thing to recharge at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning because you're asleep. It's not going to hinder your water usage. I'm actually going to set it to 3 a.m. I prefer that time. Hit the select button again. So once you're done setting your recharge time, this screen is going to pop up for what type of salt you use. You either have sodium chloride or potassium chloride. And from the research that I just did off camera, most salt, if you're cheap like me, is going to be sodium chloride. You're going to know if you're buying potassium chloride because it's more expensive and it's probably going to state on the front of it that it is potassium chloride. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. And remember, none of these settings are permanent with any of these machines. You can always go back and change anything. Now you're going to set your salt level. So it says to lift the salt lid. Salt level scale on the brine well inside the tank has numbers 0 from 8. Observe the highest number the leveled salt is at or closest to. Press the up and down buttons until the number on the screen corresponds to the salt level at level 2 or below. When finished setting the salt level, press the select button. The display returns to normal time of day screen. Okay, so it's at 4. There we go. We're done. So I want to do a recharge now just to make sure this thing's working. So I'm going to press and hold. It's working. Alright. Now download the IQUA app and complete setup. Once you complete the setup of the app, you will come to a screen that looks like this. Now, you want to press and hold the up and down arrows on the water softener to get it into pairing mode. And then follow the screen prompts on the app. Okay, searching for device. Okay, my device's serial number popped up. I clicked on the serial number and it appears to be connecting. Says pairing to device. Okay, now you select your Wi-Fi and enter your Wi-Fi's password. Once you enter your Wi-Fi's password, it will do this. And the water softener will say C2. Okay, now it says create a device nickname. I'm just going to say home water softener. And now it went green, so we are connected. And now on the app, that's what it looks like when setup is complete. I'm going to click on it, see what our options are here. Alright, looks like it gives you some statistics and some data. Now the plus with being set up to Wi-Fi, it will alert you on your phone if you are low on salt. It will also show you your water usage, and I believe it will show you regeneration times, etc. Well, there you have it. Installation of a water softener system. I feel like this was a pretty good in-depth installation video for this particular model. Also, this can kind of be applied to any type of water softener. Maybe not the setup for the water softener, that's pretty specific for each water softener. But as far as the plumbing and the whole home filter, stuff like that, I think it's all stuff you could take home as knowledge. That being said, it's getting late here. I have a big mess to clean up. This thing's regenerating. I want soft water in the morning. Can't wait to test it. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Any questions about this install or anything you're curious about at all, leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And until the next thing that breaks in my house or on my car, I'll see you then.